But on the design part, usually cantilevers, they take a lot of bars and we try to carry them based on the anchorages that are within the existing support systems.
Yeah. Of late, I know people who have offices where you bring the AC without going to site. So I mean that the information sometimes can become invalid from the quantity survey.
It can affect the cost of the plan.
But by the way, I find this is something weird. Things that pain the most rich people and poor, now this is when I find them to be almost in the same bracket. So you try to buy on the hill, it becomes expensive to build there.
Yes.
Same time when you decide to buy in the swamp.
The lowlands.
The lowlands again, and the swamps are the ones which are cheap. Again, it becomes a problem to have a good structure in there. We're gonna be covering one of the reasons why some structures could be much expensive than the other, where even you can find that there could be a difference of over more than like 300 million, yet they are the same rooms, almost the same size, same functionality, but then you find out when someone is crying. On my side, I'm with Engineer Timothy from Archbuild, Uganda, and they are one of the best Ugandan engineers that you can have. It's a very, very big company, and they got you covered on everything that you need to know about construction. I'm Katambo Alan from Lani Interiors, and we're gonna be covering this, so it's gonna be a lot of episodes. So this is one of the episodes that we have done, and these are continuations. So if you're seeing this, just subscribe so that you don't miss any episode. So Timothy, what are those major things that a client could say, I want, but you have to warn them about? Like, you have to warn them if they want them that this, you're asking for it, but are you ready to chew it? Yes.
The first one is that client who wants a swimming pool that is on top or in the middle of the structure.
Yes.
If you are doing a swimming pool that is off ground and you're putting it as part of the structure, it is one of the things that can increase the cost of the structure to a certain level that I ask the client, are you willing to chew that cost? Because
it's something you have to sit down. Apart from designs,
it is very, very expensive. You are going to do a lot of piping for it. You are going to design for it.
Waterproofing.
Waterproof it. There's a lot of things that have to be done for a structure to be stable. With the swimming pool part of the structure. So if you have it in your structure and the client wants it, really should be the client who wants it.
Then have to be an inspiration. Much of the design, it has to be asked. You really, is it something that if you're not okay with it, you want to be okay on the structure?
Very true.
May find to be that cantilevers are a problem. You know, I ever designed for a client who told me their budget. At that moment, I made sure I minimize anything floating on the project. And you may find that now they have bigger space, they have the functionality, and the cost went a bit down. But if you see the iron bars that go, the solid stuff that go in cantilevers and all that, and I have even these people who want to do maybe some window seats cantilever style, maybe the whole master bedroom is suspended.
Yes.
Those are the design that when a client sends me and be like, how much could this cost? I'm like, what is your budget?
So you mean you don't want us to do cantilevers?
No, I want you to do the cantilever designs. I'm okay with them. The question is, okay, those are some things that I caution my client that because most clients fire us before even understanding what has to be done. Like you tell a client, this project will cost this amount of money. But you're depending on maybe the factor that it has many cantilevers. So you end up calculating many iron bars.
That's very true.
So it's like, let me go to another person. Yet it's the design. Bringing the issue in the project.
But on the design part, usually cantilevers, they take a lot of bars and we try to carry them based on the anchorages that are within the existing support systems. So if the slab is cantilevered a bit, we increase on the number of bars to ensure that we carry them. So that's why it increases the costs. So if you find that they are not necessary, you can reduce on them.
If that's not much of the version that if you don't have it on the structure, you won't leave. Cantilever something that And by the way, that is here is the picture of a cantilever.
Yes.
I think you have seen it. Anything that is suspended and doesn't have a column is a cantilever.
And that is the cost.
Is that the cost? Now we have people who have had a nightmare of retaining walls. What is your experience?
Those clients who buy on hills and they want to see on the lake view.
They want to have the city view.
They want to see the city view. The client is on a certain hill. I have one. He's on a city. He's on a hill and he wants to see Mapera. And he says, I get all the fresh air of Kampala. My brother, it comes with a cost.
It's either you do the retaining wall or you find your plot on your neighbor's house. Like, your structure will
to get something functional, you can't avoid the retaining wall, and the retaining wall is very, very costly. I'm in a scenario where I have a project where a house costs around 1 billion and the retaining wall is 2.6 billion because the client opted to be on top of the hill to see Kampala. So by the time you buy that plot, let it be a right decision as a client that you need to invest.
I've had a meeting with a client in Buziga where he told me, man, the retaining wall is much expensive than the money I bought here.
Very true. I
haven't even put the structure, but I have first built the before building the structure, you have first put the money in a retaining wall.
That's very true.
So even I respect people who have just built retaining walls.
That's very true. That's very true. Retaining wall, by the way, I still speak on that on behalf of that client, is always more expensive than the house. So it is one of the things that can be part of your project and it becomes very expensive with the same plan. But for you, by the fact that you chose a hill.
But by the way, I find this is something weird. Things that pain the most rich people and poor, now this is when I find them to be almost in the same bracket. So you try to buy on a hill, it becomes expensive to build there.
Yes.
Same time when you decide to buy in the swamp.
The lowlands.
The lowlands. Again, and the swamps are the ones which are cheap. Again, it becomes a problem to have a good structure in there.
So
that's where problems that disturb the rich and poor meet.
And they interact. So even that client is going to buy in a wetland, just know that the costs of building in a wetland is going to be higher, even if you had the same plan with someone who gets a better land or some place which is okay.
But I think also this is also in line with you had mentioned previously was on the terrain. If someone may not really have a retaining wall, maybe they may find that the retaining wall of the neighbors are already there, but still now their plot may not have that much incline, but still that's where even some people start to say, how my plot is, I rather put a basement down than just fill in soil. Terrain, how is the terrain?
The terrain can affect the costs. You see, some people think that they start negotiating between backfilling and a basement. All those things is costs.
What is cheaper?
Usually it reduces. You might find that the soil that you are going to backfill is got from a very hard place and it's costly than even a basement. But you can find when a basement is easier. Engineering is more about doing proper calculations and you compare. But always that is something that can affect the project cost, the terrain of the land that you purchased.
I think backfilling is cheaper, but makes the space useless. It's like having a terrain where the lower side of your house is like 3 meters. I find it's functional to put a basement, but sometimes the budget of the basement may not have been on the budget of the structure.
Exactly. Most people, while they do backfilling or they do the basement, the initial plan, they assume it is flat. By the time they reach, the nature of the land forces them to a certain direction.
Like the plans they got.
The plans they usually have. Most of those people, there's no basement, there's no backfilling. The decisions come on execution. That's why sometimes we're looking for the cheaper option to make sure that we use that land.
And that is not, this may not be in line of what we have talked about today, but now it comes back to a person who has got a quantity surveyor, and the quantity surveyor just only looked at the plan without visiting the site and tells the client, your foundation will cost 60 million. But the engineer on ground says, it's going to cost 80 million because we have steps. Does it, I think also quantity surveyor have to now start visiting the site where the house will be.
Yeah, they should. Of course, they should visit because if you don't visit, you can have a lot of issues.
Of late, I know people who have offices where you bring, they sit without going to site. So I mean that the information sometimes can become invalid from the quantity survey.
It can affect the cost of the plan.
I've been in a situation where a quantity surveyor said something else. I'm saying something else because both of us have different, what could you say, finish ideas of what we're gonna do.
Exactly. I had it, by the way. I had it.
These are things
This quantity surveyor could not separate from finishes and plastering. He said plastering is very simple, just put plaster. But I said, me, I'm doing finishes. Have molds, I've got touches and everything.
I separate them on my quotation to have peace.
The surveyor could not separate.
By the way, there are some structures where the molding work, the detail work is much expensive than the plastering work.
Exactly.
And then the client wants to pay on percentage. Yet the mold artist will mold 2 square meters a day. Yet on plastering, someone could do 10 square meters a day.
It was a problem. That thing can also affect the cost of the project.
Finishes.
The style of finishing. Most people don't have finished houses. They have plastered houses.
Say it once more time. Say it one more time.
Most people do not have finished houses. They have plastered houses. Have you ever seen a house that is so boring? Just with plaster.
Yes.
They can't say I'm done.
As someone will say I'm a minimalist, I know them, they try to see how they can use good English words. I'm a minimalist, but yeah, I get your point. When someone tells you, if we finish this and this, if I put this molding here, if we do this trim here,
yes,
it is like, so Mr. asks, if it's not there, we don't enter. I've had scenarios where the fighting is there because maybe the wife is much detailed and Mr. is much of
finishing.
When is this done? So long as the functionality starts, they have plastered houses without finishes.
And there are so many.
Back on finishes, the structure, the pricing of finishing a project. If at all you could look, you know that the difference between someone using metal windows and aluminium could have a difference like for 30 million on a project.
That's very
One
true.
could be 80, and this one's around like 50.
50, yeah.
We go to tiles. You know the tiles.
Hey.
You say you want a bigger tile, ABC is like 180 per square meter.
Per square meter.
You go to Goodwill, it's like Goodwill, 30K per square meter. So imagine in 1 square meter of the others, here we're getting how many square meters?
Exactly.
So the finishes and the test. Let's go back also now, the test.
The tests.
I mean, I think the test starts after someone has roofed. Yeah, the moment roof is done.
That's where projects diverge.
That's when a client starts to call you, now you see how the structure has reached. It has drained all my money, but I want the best.
Exactly.
How can those things be in the same sentence? But anyway, those are the factors that today we have covered. In the comment section, you can tell us one. I had forgotten. But I think also the kitchen falls in finishes.
Yes,
kitchen
falls in the finishes.
Curtains. What else?
Finished tiles, kitchen, curtains. Even a type of paint.
Yeah. That is also in finishes.
Yeah, it is in finishes.
So that was our episode today. I was with Timothy from Archbuild. And in the comment section, you can tell us one of the things that almost made your head hurt while you were constructing your house that we haven't talked about. And if you're an engineer, you can tell us, this and this. For us, we have mentioned a few. And in the next one, we shall be covering another stuff. So long as it's in construction, just subscribe so don't miss any episode. May God bless you.